Over $1 billion invested into Cardano, ADA, and Polkadot, DOT. That is right. Cardano went up to number 3. It beat Binance Coin, BNB. A little upsetting because I'm a big Binance fan, but I do believe in all of these altcoins. And the reason Polkadot and Cardano have been going up recently is because of the ecosystems behind them. They're just like Ethereum, where they have applications on their network. They've got a lot of fun updates coming up, and that's why both companies and large investors and even institutional investors now are getting on board for these companies. So my name is Michael. Let's get into the video. Crypto Crow is one of those hardcore Cardano enthusiasts. He loves Cardano. Very exciting news for all those Cardano believers. I think over the next few weeks, we're going to have a lot of exciting news with probably 20 to 50 plus altcoin projects, as Bitcoin will hopefully go back up either in March, and if it doesn't, if it has a rough March, if it goes back up in April or even in May, so too will altcoins. But there's already some altcoin projects such as Cardano. When Bitcoin was going down, Cardano actually had a few days where it was positive, and that's how it beat BNB. So there are two funds. One is from Dubai that invested $750 million. They sold $750 million worth of Bitcoin to purchase $750 million worth of both Cardano and Polkadot. And now today there was an Indian fund, a new fund that invested $250 million both into Polkadot and Cardano again. So this is interesting, from two areas of the world, both into the same two altcoins. So why would they do that? So the managing director of the Dubai fund, which has over $1 billion in assets, so they spent 75% of their total assets into Polkadot and Cardano. He says that Bitcoin is fantastic. It is a great project, but over the next few years, looking into the future, he's not sure if it's going to remain at number one position, and it may not, because we're not sure what's going to happen in the future. Bitcoin has remained at the very tippy top. It's been the classic investment for all institutional investors, but will it be like MySpace, where eventually a Facebook supersedes it, whether that's Ethereum, whether that's Cardano, Polkadot, or any other project that still hasn't even been invented and programmed and developed yet? We don't know what's going to happen in the next few years, and investment funds, they're making good money with Bitcoin, but they might want to make a little bit more, and there's higher risk if they're investing into altcoins. But these are the top altcoins. It's the number 3rd and the number 5th positions. It's the 3rd and 5th and 6th positions technically, because in between with Tether and Binance Coin and Polkadot, they're all so close in the market caps that they constantly, move back and forth. But anyways, the managing director really likes Bitcoin, but he says it's pretty useless compared to other cryptocurrencies because it's both slower, it's got higher transaction fees, and it's very speculative. He thinks Ethereum could supersede that, and not only Ethereum, but there's other altcoins such as Polkadot and Cardano. And it's not just him who thinks that. There's a lot of bright minds who do, and who've inspired him to sell his Bitcoin and go into these positions. Listen, at these points where you have hundreds of millions of dollars, it's sometimes worth it to take a risk. Sure, you might lose $100 million, or maybe even 200 or 300 million, but you might just make another billion or even a few $1 billion. And when we go and look at the Indian fund, that's a lot of money, $250 million for India. Guess who's behind it? The same people that are behind the Dubai fund. Their name, FD7 Ventures, and they've established an office in Bangalore, India, and their two objectives are to double down on their Polkadot and Cardano investments and to grow their Bangalore offices. Now, why does the managing director of FD7 Ventures, Prakash Chan, think that India is a good place? It's because he's looking into the future, not just for cryptocurrency, but the future of many bright minds. And maybe he's got some family or history back in India, but he understands that there are a lot of very smart programmers, a lot of very smart cryptocurrency enthusiasts in India, and maybe not all of them have a chance to be able to seize opportunities. So if you create more opportunities by putting your company in Bangalore, he's going to have access to a completely different talent pool than in Dubai. And if you have two locations, if you're already dealing with hundreds of millions of dollars, if you have a few new bright minds, they might know what the next best projects will be. So is it a bad decision? I don't think so at all. I actually think there's a lot of opportunity when you move to countries that have a lower cost of living. That's what I did. I moved from America to Poland, and Poland is not what a lot of Americans expect. It's growing. It has had some hardships due to communism and World War II, but it's recovering right now. And the economy, thanks to the EU and thanks to a lot of new businesses, is going in the right direction, where 10, 15 years from now, Warsaw is going to be the next Berlin, and possibly maybe the next London, maybe in 20, 30 years for London. But still, there's a lot of opportunity where if you're coming from a higher cost of living country, there's probably probably a lot of products and a lot of services that you're accustomed to that may not be available in that region. And if you have money, you have the power and you have the means to create a company to solve these problems that may not exist back where you're from. So in India, it's amplified even more because there's a huge population, there's a lot of poverty, but there's also a lot of newfound wealth. Just like China, it's growing like crazy in Dubai. 50, 60 years ago, where was China and Dubai? They were poor. They were poor as dirt. Both communism and the deserts weren't proven to be too valuable. Sure, oil was already discovered over 50 years ago, but it took a while for these cities to build. It took a while for tourism, for the oil money to flow in. I'm not saying they were super poor, but there was only a few wealthy individuals. Now there's more millionaires coming out of these areas, and there's more millionaires being produced by cryptocurrency. So another field that this fund discussed about is NFTs. There was a lot of interest in NFTs lately, and on Kubera I posted a video about Logan Paul making over $5 million in a single weekend selling his NFT artwork, which was Pokemon-based little cards. And that's cool and all. Beeple had a $6 million auction at Christie's recently. You had a 17-year-old teenager making tens of thousands of dollars per artwork. People hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions of dollars with digitalized non-fungible tokens. There's definitely going to be more videos about that in the future because I think this is going to be huge, even though I'm not interested in art whatsoever. It's just interesting to do this research. So with the state of NFTs, that was through Logan Paul's NFTs were being sold through Bondly, a platform that is not in the top 100. That Martini guy was actually recommending to invest in it long before the Logan Paul auction because he heard about it, so that was a pretty decent investment piece that he offered. But Bondly is built on Polkadot, and there's a lot of applications similar to Bondly where they might hold a lot of value in the future, and it's either built on Cardano or it's built on Polkadot or it's going to be built on some other altcoin that this fund and other funds are going to invest in. And not only did they put $1 billion into this, but it's huge marketing for Polkadot and Cardano, and it inspired other institutional investors, although with smaller investments, a few $1 million or even just a few $100,000, which is still a lot for the average person, and random people who were just like, all right, let me throw in 5,000, let me put in 1,000 here, let me do this. I had a little bit of Cardano not too long back, a little bit of Chainlink, but you know what, I wanted to simplify it, so I'm mainly holding just Bitcoin right now and a little bit of Binance coin and those other investments that we already made videos about. So that's about that. It's just crazy news that $1 billion came out of Dubai. Not so crazy when you think about it, that there's a lot of billionaires out there, but that they put so much faith into two altcoins, which obviously is a big confidence pull. They're hoping that other people are going to go into it for the long term as well. I do definitely think that it inspired other smaller people as well, but it is a long-term play that they're going for. And while the markets are cheap right now, everything's at a crypto Costco discount, hey, why not? So tomorrow we're gonna have a video about my FICO score and how we're rebuilding FICO scores, because this channel is not only about cryptocurrency, but it's about personal finance, and hopefully what I'm doing to raise my net worth, get out of debt, build my credit score back up again will result in absolutely positive results in the next 2 years. I signed up for this program that helps you rebuild credit. I'm getting a secured credit card. We're going to talk more about that tomorrow. A program. I signed up for a program. That sounds sketchy, but it's not that sketchy, trust me. It's not going to help that much. I mean, it's going to raise my credit score like 50, 60 points, but that's because it's down in the dumps. It used to be near 730 before it hit 500. So yeah, there's a lot to work on. It's going to be a long journey, but in the grand scheme of things, there's going to be a lot happening over the next year that I think if we do right, if Bitcoin goes up, we're going to be past $10,000. It's a small step compared to the amount of debt that I have, but it's certainly a lot of money for me, especially right now. And I'm very grateful for everything that's happened. And hopefully in the next few years, we're going to be able to make another video. Hey, we're at $100,000 again. Although this time we're not going to be stupid. And this time, hopefully I'm able to help others alongside me in this journey. So if you have bad credit, if you are making dumb crypto investments, if you are making dumb crypto decisions or dumb personal finance decisions, come along with me on this ride. And if not, if it's just entertainment for you, then sure, why not? It's the little things that count. So I want to thank each and every one of you. We are approaching steadfast 600 subscribers. Hopefully we can get to over 1,000 subscribers and a monetized channel before we head out and fly back to the good old US. Now it's going to be around 65 days as I'm uploading this, and 64 by the time you already watch it. So not too long, just a little bit over 9 weeks. A lot can happen till then with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and hopefully it does go in the right direction. It's currently at $49,000, but I'm hodling. I did technically sell $1,052. That's right. And I lost a few dollars in fees, but I sold to benefit the ecosystem of cryptocurrency in Bitcoin because I sold it to none other than my girlfriend. So now she has over $125 worth of Bitcoin. I introduced her to Bitcoin a few months back, and she put in money that was almost doubled when it hit $58,000. So that was a good point. I was telling her to buy at $45,000, but that's all right. I sold it to her at $47,000, so that's not too bad. $47,500. That is the only reason that I'm happy that I'm selling because it's, you know, like whatever. I lost a few bucks in transaction fees, but it's for the better of her portfolio and for the betterment of the ecosystem of Bitcoin. We want to ensure everybody in the community is making money. Just as the Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong and a few other large exchange CEOs were handing out Bitcoins to their friends and family, I'd rather sell to my girlfriend and take a loss of a few dollars, and she saves not only in transaction fees, but in Bitcoin ATM fees, or if she went through Coinbase, she'd save fees from that because, hey, she's going to get a little bit more excited. She's going to save a few bucks. Also, it doesn't make sense to, you know, burn fuel, go to the local Bitcoin ATM for such small transactions. So that's today's video. Thanks for watching it. A lot of exciting news going on with cryptocurrency. A fun video coming out tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day and enjoy yourself. We have a BMW car alarm and we have Canada Dry and A&W. I'm so excited because you cannot find these anywhere in a normal store in both Poland and in the EU. You have to go to a specialty store, an American store, and I have missed Canada Dry dearly, and A&W root beer, any type of root beer, I'll take it. Oh man. So yes, my flight is going to be occurring not in April anymore, but in May. So that wraps up today's video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit that subscribe button, and we shall see you guys tomorrow. Have a great one. If you're a Polkadot and Cardano fan, hit that like button, and we'll see you guys again. Thanks for watching. Bye.